You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, I think far and away the most interesting storyline going into Thursday night, the start of the National Football League draft, is what's going to happen with these quarterbacks. Jackson Dart, who originally committed to go show up and be there in Green Bay, has decided not to go now. I don't know if that's a situation where he got a little birdie in his ear telling him, you're not going in the first round. I don't know what, or you're at least at risk of not going in the first round. I don't know what that's about. And then there's Shedeur Sanders, which is very intriguing. What happens with this guy? Very different skill set. We don't see too many pure pocket passers these days, and that's what he is. Incredibly accurate, all right? He's a fast processor, but his arm's not overly big, and he's not athletic. He holds on to the ball too long a lot of times. So it's going to be interesting to see. Does he tumble? There's teams that don't have a first-round grade on him. There's rumors that half the league doesn't have a first-round grade on him. There's rumors there's teams out there that have none of these quarterbacks, including Cam Ward, with a first-round grade. Yikes. If I'm the Titans, that scares the shit out of me, hearing that action, that there are literally teams in the league that don't even have a first-round grade on Cam Ward. So, obviously the Steelers and the Giants are the two teams to watch with Shedeur Sanders and Jackson Dart. And this little nugget came out, and I don't know how to feel about it because there's been rumors that the meeting between the Steelers and Shedeur didn't go great. There's also rumors Mike Tomlin loves Shedeur Sanders. So, and it's Lions season. So who the hell knows what's going on exactly. We know how this is. But the Saints is an interesting spot on all these quarterbacks because of Derek Carr's injury. How injured he really is, I don't know. There's a lot of rumors about that right now. The top quarterback who's been connected to the Saints has been Colorado signal caller Shedeur Sanders. I don't know about that. I mean, Todd McShay says it's Jackson Dart. So, who knows? Sanders is expected to go in the first round of this week's NFL draft. A lot of experts predict he'll land with the Saints at number 9. NFL Spin Zone's Lou Skagtalila, I don't know, recently predicted the Saints wouldn't be the team to land Sanders. Instead, he suggested the Steelers would swing a blockbuster trade with the Raiders to jump the Saints in the draft and steal Sanders from them. That's interesting. Our next major trade is the Steelers also trading up 15 slots to grab Shedeur Sanders, ensuring no other team has a chance to snag the Colorado QB. This would be a nightmare scenario for the Saints. Sanders would fit the team perfectly. If he's stolen out from under them, New Orleans would be forced to take a prospect it's not in love with. In a dream world, Sanders falls to the Saints at 9, steps in as a franchise signal caller for the team from day one. I know it's Mel Kiper Jr. that's got, I think, Sanders mocked to the Saints at 9. But if he's stolen out from under their nose, the Saints could be forced to take a player like Armand Membu or Will Johnson at 9. My feeling is, of those two players, Will Johnson's the only one that's going to be there. Membu's probably going to be gone. I think there's still an outside chance he's the guy that the Patriots take over Will Campbell, but it's looking very, very strong that Will Campbell's the pick for the Pats. Both of those prospects would fill a void for New Orleans, but the quarterback spot is much bigger role. So that leads us over here to the Giants. All right, ESPN's Ben Solak, who covers the Giants, talking about schematically, the Giants are certainly the best fit for Sanders' play style, and it's because Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka like to run a lot of RPOs, but it's not the cornerstone of their system. In general, they have a gun and spread heavy approach that encourages quick targets underneath areas on the field. Sanders' strength. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Despite the ideal fit, Solak believes the Giants will not take Sanders at number 3. Quote, I strongly believe they will not take him at 3. They have the 34th pick and an extra third rounder with which to trade. However, moving into the end of the round 1 to secure Sanders would be a franchise-building move. Yeah, there has been some talk, and I heard it yesterday, about the idea of, and if you're a Giants fan, depending on how you feel about one of these quarterbacks, you would feel, I would think, pretty good about the following scenario. The idea that the Giants are going to take Abdul Carter at 3 and then trade back in with the second and third rounder to get into the first, and somewhere they're probably going to have to jump the Steelers somehow. And do I think the Steelers are going to trade up to the Raiders spot to get? I don't buy that. All right, I just don't think so. But the Giants, how are they going to know how far to trade up? That's the problem. Or here's the other scenario. Maybe they got a grade between the two, and I'm going to be honest with you. I know what Ben Solak said about Sanders and Brian Daboll. I think Jackson Dart would run that offense better. I do, because he would like to have a more mobile quarterback. Tyler Shuck, certainly, in my opinion, would run it better than Shedeur. He would like to have a strong-arm Josh Allen type of guy, a mobile guy. That's why it was so weird to me that Brian Daboll did not go get Joe Milton from the Patriots, because I was like, that is the guy that most closely mimics Josh Allen and Cam Newton and some of these big, huge, athletic, can throw the ball better than Anthony Richardson. You get my point. But, Tyler Shuck's a big guy. Jackson Dart, 6'2". I think he's 220. He's a good-sized dude, So, and he's mobile. Shedeur is not mobile at all. It's not. He's not mobile. So, I don't know how that's going to work. It is fascinating. And then there's all kinds of scenarios where the Browns and the Raiders and the Seahawks and the Giants, they all just wait to the second round because they're pretty high up in the second round, and they start grabbing the quarterbacks that are left. Jalen Milroe and Brian Daboll. That's interesting, I would say, considering his speed and a massive cannon. Boy, he's raw. The thing about that is that's a pick that Joe Shane and Brian Daboll liable to not be around for if they make it. In other words, they make a pick, he's too far away from really getting on the field. And he is a guy that most definitely, he comes in, he needs to set a year, maybe more, and work on his passing badly. I wouldn't take him, personally speaking, but these guys get caught up in traits. Jackson Dart, I think he's Baker Mayfield. Oh, except even more athletic. And Baker can move around a little bit, but Jackson's more athletic than Baker. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.